Good morning. Well, we've been sitting here for 5 minutes getting ready. You'd think we would be ready. Welcome to Perfect Pair. Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen.
And I'm Nancy.
And this is Perfect Pair.
Oh.
Welcome to Perfect Pair. Please like and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. This is our 7th show, and we appreciate all the love we can get. We really appreciate it. You may have noticed this is not Kara. This is our lovely Colleen, who does the One Yard Wednesday and many other things around the showroom and shop. So we're happy to have her here, so you don't have to listen to just me. So thank you.
I think I got chosen for just one reason, and that is I was willing to make the snack, the treat today.
That's right. She did make a great recipe today. So.
Thank you for that. Fun to be here.
Our quilts on set. Behind both of us is the Haldora from Quilts of Iceland. Also behind Colleen is the same quilt. And then behind me is the Frost Table Runner.
I love that.
Also from the Quilts of Iceland book. So beautiful. All right.
If you don't have the Quilts of Iceland book, you should get it. It's really wonderful.
It's worth it. Has a lot of course, great patterns, but lots of stories about Iceland and their culture.
Right.
Really
things I didn't know.
Exactly. You can learn something.
Yes.
All right. So next up, we have Colleen's delicious recipe.
Yes. So the recipe is called Marriage Bliss Bars, and even though Mr. HP and Gudrun didn't have the Marriage Bliss Bars at their wedding, we think they're still Marriage Bliss. And I asked Gudrun, how did it get its name? And she said it was just the translation. She doesn't know exactly where the name came from, but I'll tell you, they're
really
great.
Good. I had one earlier. It's very good. I'm glad you were the one to make them,
yes.
Not me.
Yes. Well, it would have been Matt. But
it would have been Matt.
I didn't know, fun fact, that rhubarb is a vegetable.
Oh.
I
guess
know.
I never really thought about what it was.
So if you make the Bliss Bar recipe exactly as printed, you'll have rhubarb jam in there, which is your vegetable for the day. I didn't make rhubarb jam or have it, so I used strawberry rhubarb jam, and it's yummy.
Yay.
Yummy.
Well, good.
There's the recipe up there.
And the recipe is there.
Recipe.
That's the picture from the book. Again, this is an awesome book, and there's the Marriage Bliss Bar recipe.
They're very good. Highly recommended.
You can have a redo so you can make them.
Okay.
I don't want to make them. I'm no cook.
I have a 5-pound bag of whole wheat flour now that I bought because I needed 1 cup for this recipe. So I will be making these quite a lot.
Good, good. I look forward to it. All right, so we wanted to recognize last month's winners. So the question was, what projects do you work on while traveling, and any tips or tricks to make it easier? So we had 3 winners that were chosen randomly from Facebook and YouTube. They are, one of them is Tracy Matheson Rittenor.
Yay. Yay, Tracy.
Yay, Tracy. She uses a food tray to hold all of her pieces while she's working on them, which is really smart.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Our other winner was Vicky Bosch. She always brings embroidery for the car. I have my thread catcher that also has a place for needles. If I happen to lose a needle, I carry a small extendable magnet that I can find them with.
Love that.
And then our last winner was Angela Sherwood, and she said, when I'm out camping, I have my featherweight and I take projects with me, which is smart. I wish I could do that.
Me too.
So all of them will be sent a charm pack, and so yeah, look for that. Congratulations.
Fun. Am I eligible for those prizes, by the way? Because I have lots of good ideas.
You know, you can definitely leave some comments and find out.
I'll just have to play that by ear then, I guess.
All right. So last month was a very, very busy month. It started out, we had to postpone our show, or actually have it early. Have it early because we had the quilt show the week that we were supposed to do our Perfect Pair.
Yeah, we were in St. Cloud.
Yes, it was so awesome. Mm-hmm. Loved seeing all of you. I don't think Mr. HP has the pictures.
Yeah, you know why?
Why don't you have the pictures?
Because we closed it and we opened it.
There they come. Here they come.
Here they come. Just a little technical difficulty.
It was such a fun show. We had lots and lots of new friends join us.
Yep.
and lots of old friends. And for so long, we didn't have shows.
Yes.
So it's so fun to get out and about.
It's awesome. And I
So-
love seeing all the other creations and quilts
Yes.
that other shops have and different ideas. And
Absolutely.
meeting all of you was so awesome. So thank you if you
Yeah.
stopped by.
There's Gudrun,
There's Gudrun.
on the learning stage.
Yeah.
Super fun.
She did a little demo up there about her rulers and book and how to get more out of your bundles. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, really fun. So thanks. So we'll be doing that again.
We will. Absolutely. Can't wait. I like the shows.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after the quilt show, another reason why we had to move the show up instead of back was because I went on a vacation. My family and I went to the Boundary Waters, the BWCA. And for those who aren't familiar with it,
You're hardcore.
I am hardcore.
Yeah, you really are.
We'll see. But it is about a little more than 1 million acres up in northern Minnesota that is completely primitive. There's no motorboats, there's no planes, there's nothing. And so it's very primitive campsites, and you canoe from campsite to campsite, and you portage from lake to lake.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it was beautiful. I got to spend a few days up there. Thankfully, the smoke wasn't too bad from Canada. So
And from the Boundary Waters, they've been having a little.
yes, there was a
Uh,
fire on the lake we were supposed to go
Yeah.
to, and so if we were going, it was kind of up in the air for a little bit, but we ended up going and just staying in one spot versus going to several different campsites. So it was great. So my family of 5 went, along with 2 of Matt's brothers, Mike and Nick, and so they got some quality time with my kids and did fishing and cooking. Oscar was in charge of boiling the water for breakfast. But yeah, lots of napping in hammocks. And
Love it. How about bugs?
bugs. So it was very dry, and there was a fire ban, which would make you think that mosquitoes wouldn't be that bad, but they found a way. So mosquitoes were still pretty bad. We were dousing ourselves in repellent
Lady
all
slipper.
the time. Yep, that's the lady slipper. And then a life goal of mine was to see a moose, and I got to. And not only just one moose, I got to see her calf as well.
Oh, wow.
So-
Look at her.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Maybe that picture won't show up. It's okay. But it was so great. It was a great week. So
Fun.
Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
there it is.
There it is. There it is. Oh,
So
look.
that's the little baby moose.
Oh, the little mooselet.
Yes. Calf, I think is a technical.
Oh, okay.
But I like mooselet better. So we'll go with that. So that's what I've been up to. And then,
Fun.
yeah, I'm not done.
Oh, tell us more.
It has been a busy month. So right after the Boundary Waters, my family went into 4-H fair
Oh, boy.
mode. So we've been working on 4-H projects nonstop. Elsa finished her bag. Do an overhead right here.
Her
Her little
backpack.
stomp, stomp, roar,
Love it.
and stuffed animals.
Love
so
it.
she did a great job on that, and I'm glad it's done, and we can get ready for the rest. So that was my very full month. How about you?
Fun. We had visitors. I know, and it was so much visitors.
Family?
And so Jeff and I, between us, have 5 kids, which is frankly a lot of kids. So our first visitors were Jeff's daughter Siobhan and her husband Clayton, and they won't ever have their pictures taken. So I can show you one of the things we did, but I can't show you them. They just refuse. So we went to the National Bald Eagle Center, which is in Wabasha, Minnesota, and this is how close up we were to our national bird. It's a place where they have human care for bald eagles who, for whatever reason, can't be released into the wild. This one fell out of its nest and lost sight in one eye, so it wouldn't survive. So it will live there, and they live to be about 35 years old when they're in human care.
Oh,
Isn't that
wow.
amazing?
Do you know how long they live in the wild?
About 25 years in
Okay.
the wild. So, and then we went. My son Will and his lovely fiancee Catherine came to visit, and we went to the Guthrie Theater. And the Guthrie Theater is a world-class theater, and we saw Into the Wild.
No, Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. Right, thank you. As soon as I said it, which is a really fun musical. So if it comes to your town or if you're in the Twin Cities, come on over to the Guthrie and see Into the Woods. Super, super fun. There's my son, Will, and I'm not sure who the gray-haired person is behind me, but anyway, there's Will.
She's stunning.
I know. So, and here's a fun fact. If you participated in the retreat, which was the trip down the Mississippi, both of these places are on the Mississippi River.
There you go.
The Guthrie, looking right over at the river, and also the National Eagle Center is on the river because it's the only place in the upper Midwest where the river doesn't freeze over in the wintertime. So
really?
there are eagles there year-round. So, fun fact, come and visit the Eagle Center. It's cool.
That's cool.
It's really a cool place.
I should bring the kids there.
You should. They'll love it.
All right, so up next, we are going to talk about our favorite tools, notions, whatnot that we have going on in the shop lately. So Colleen has some fun stuff.
So my favorite tool right now, and lots of yours I'm sure, is the Master Your Stripology Rulers book. I'm calling this the Stripology Rulers Encyclopedia because it has all of the tables and all of the instructions for all of the rulers. I also love that it has patterns, so if you wanted to try the half square triangles or the 45-degree triangles or whatever you wanted to try, the flying geese, of course, which is so fun. It's just a really great book. And then my favorite part of that collection is the Stripology Quarters Mini Ruler. And Gudrun's been using this, and I have been using it too. So let me just turn this around. And I made Little Mia. And I'm just going to show you how easy Little Mia is to make. The Little Mia square finishes at 3 3/4 inches square. So I marked my ruler and I trim, and look at that little bitty 3 3/4 inch square for Little Mia. So much fun and perfect every time. So the book and the ruler and Little Mia is coming out as a print pattern too.
Yes, I can't wait for it to come in as a print pattern. For those who ordered the package of the book and the ruler together, you should have gotten the Little Mia pattern and video, but it'll be available to everyone very soon. My favorite lately, let me dig it out, I should have been more prepared, has been, surprise,
Of course.
the Quilts of Iceland book. So we've been looking through it lately, looking at a lot of patterns, and I kind of want to do them all.
I do too.
But yeah, it's really great. I like the stories behind a lot of the quilts in there too.
The
and
folklore
pictures.
in Iceland, it really is. It's a great travel story, and the quilts are beautiful. I really want to make lupine, which is right here.
I love that.
I really love that quilt.
On our way up to the Boundary Waters, when we were passing through Duluth and Grand Marais, the lupines were blooming and it was gorgeous. And I'm like, oh, now I have to for sure make that quilt
Absolutely.
someday. So, all right.
Someday.
So, we have a topic for you today to talk about.
Oh, yay.
Yay. So,
Tell us.
I have been sewing a lot with kids lately, usually my own. And so I thought maybe it would be helpful to give out some tips for that. I am by no means an expert. I have sewn mainly with my own kids. I feel like sewing with other people's kids is different.
More nerve-wracking
Yeah,
in a way.
exactly.
Yeah.
But so here are some tips. So first and foremost, when you're sewing with a kiddo, teach them safety first. First thing, teach them about rotary blades and how to use them, turn on the safety with those. Same with irons. I always turn my iron so that the flat part, the hottest part, is away from me towards the wall, so that if I do reach across, I'm gonna get burned by the thin part and not the big part.
Yeah.
Neither is ideal, but let's
Less
minimize
surface
the
area.
the damage. So yeah, just teach them about that. My kids also, as far as safety goes, like to pull out the pins while the needle is still moving, and every time I call them out on it, because you do not want fingers near a needle, like
Right.
a moving needle. So that's a big
And that's
thing.
a good tip for accuracy too.
Yes, exactly. It's like you're going to mess things up. So safety, safety, safety. And then let's see.
There's your mini me.
There's my daughter with her Clara table runner. So let's see. When you're sewing with them, make sure that it is an easy pattern. Make sure you fully understand the pattern before you start sewing with them. And keep in mind that functionality is more important than perfection. So, if the seams aren't matching, but it's still functional, it's fine.
There's our classroom, by the way.
Yeah, yep, that's my daughter and my niece working on their quilts, 4-H quilts. So yeah, just make sure that, just encourage them, get them started. Very first thing, just have them sew. If it's not perfect, it's totally fine as long as it still works.
Yes.
I found that it's best to do kind of the boring parts first if you can, because then once they see it coming together, that'll help push them forward. So that first, when they have that novelty of sewing, and like, ooh, this is great, this is cool, have them do the boring stuff with that, and then when they're kind of wearing out, make it cooler. And by then, like the bag or the pants or the quilt will start to be forming, and they can get excited about that.
Yeah. You can see the end in sight.
Yes, exactly. Another tip is to let them have as many choices in the project as possible. The fabric, maybe the thread. I mean, who cares? But hey, if it makes them happy, let them pick the thread if they want the hot pink thread. Yeah, just give them as many choices. The pattern, if possible. There's very limited that kids can do, but let them have a choice. And then I have a bunch more, but I just want to wrap it up. Start with something small that they can finish. Don't have it drag on and on and on. And yeah, just encourage them.
Great tips.
Yeah, I'll put more on the blog, so I just don't want to go on and on. But lots of tips.
Lots of tips.
Someone asked if I have a finger guard on my machine. I don't. It didn't come with one, and I know you can buy some with them. I learned growing up with a machine with a finger guard, but I found it really annoying just because I couldn't get in there and do what I needed to do. So I didn't, or I don't, and I just teach my kids to be aware of where their fingers are in relation to the needles. So
Absolutely. That's
hopefully
good.
it'll work.
That's good advice for all of us.
Right. All right. So good.
Love the
good.
tips.
And that brings me to, if you guys have any tips or tricks for sewing with kids and how to keep them interested, comment. That will be our prize for next month. We'll give away 3 charm packs to some lucky winners. So leave a comment and with your helpful tips.
I have one tip.
Yeah.
Can I share it?
Yeah.
I haven't taught any kids how to sew, but I have taught kids how to knit.
Ooh.
And what I learned was they really want to do it well. And so they'll rip and rip and rip. So they'll get 3 rows done and they'll rip it out and they'll want to start over. So at some point, this was a semester-long class, and I realized we weren't going to get the scarf done by the end of the, so I negotiated with them. At what point should we stop ripping and just plow through? And then if I told them that they kept their timeline, they could keep the needles, the knitting needles.
That's
so
nice.
they, give them a choice and give them a reward.
Yep.
And it seemed to work well. And they all went home with needles and a scarf, so it was super fun.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, it's hard to keep them from being perfectionists.
Yes.
Sometimes, at least at Clara's age. So
Done is better than perfect.
Kathleen says, I have an iron that turns off automatically. Very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Very smart, especially with kids, but in general too. So, all right. So normally our next segment would be Perfect Picks, where we talk about kind of quilts we want to make, the patterns and the fabric. But this time we have something a little different.
Yes, we do. We're kicking off today a project that will take us through into January, actually.
Yes.
And a couple things about this. We thought it would be fun to do this together, and we thought it would be helpful to give ourselves some structure around this. So some tips on how to keep it organized so that if we don't look at it for a couple of weeks, when we open it up, we know where we left off. Do you ever have that experience? You open up
All
this
the time.
shopping bag, it's got a bunch of cut fabric and a couple of blocks, and you think,
What was happening here?
where am I? So we don't want that to happen, and so we're going to help do a little organizing and a little structure
Yeah.
and a little planning, and it's going to be a super fun project. We're making Heldora from Quilts of Iceland.
Yes,
So-
in case you hadn't guessed.
Yeah.
So we have some really beautiful examples of ones that have already been made by members of our crew. And it's just to give you some ideas on what you can do. A lot of them have very neutral or light backgrounds, which is great. If you want to use dark, that's great too. It's totally up to you, your quilt, your rules. So yeah, it's really awesome. Like Colleen said, it'll go through January, and it's just to kind of help us stay accountable, at least with each other. We'll be checking in on the crew as well occasionally, just to help you with your progress and encourage you, and things like that. So lots of beautiful Heldoras there.
Absolutely. And this is named after a woman named Heldora. I know.
Who would've
Surprise.
guessed?
Surprise. She dedicated herself, I'm going to read this because I don't want to miss a word, to the social and educational affairs of women. And she was born in 1873 and lived through 1981. So she was really a feminist early on, and really made the work of women important and raised that attention.
Yeah, noticeable, made them noticeable.
Yeah, so there is a textile museum in Iceland that has a Heldora room. And so I think that's just, look, I've got some goosebumps story. I love that
Aw,
story.
I love that. So originally, Gudrun saw this in the museum, and it was upholstered on a chair, kind of that pattern. And so she wanted to make it into a quilt. And so she enlarged it and worked with it and made it her own.
Absolutely.
So I like it.
So, super fun block.
Yeah, and to me it looks a little intimidating, and that's why I kind of wanted to make it a quilt along, because I needed that accountability and
Yes.
push forward.
Yes, exactly.
From not just you guys, but also you guys.
Right.
So it'll be appreciated, because those little blocks, I've never done anything with that little of pieces before. So it'll be a new one for me.
It's magic. Strip piecing magic.
It'll be great. We do have a little video about, hopefully it works, about how we went about choosing our fabrics. So here we go.
Of course it's going to
Of
work.
course it's going
Of
to
course
work.
it's going to work.
Talking about this one, so best way to.
Hey, what's going on around here?
Hey! We're having a little meeting. We are.
What are we talking about here?
So both Nancy and Kira want to make the Heldora quilts, the one over here. Yes.
Awesome.
And they had this idea of doing it on their Perfect Pair show and maybe get people to do it with them. And I think it's a fabulous idea, right? Because we got those
Absolutely.
like cool quilts that look a lot of work.
Right.
And you're intimidated, but with mainly the work, it's not hard.
It looks like a big project, like a long project.
Yeah. But I think those are, it's like, I think everybody just needs permission to be able to take some time to do some of these big piecing projects. You don't have to like start and finish that before you start the next one. So I love it.
Yeah. So we're gonna work through 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, I think that would be probably great. So they could start with doing some strip sets and then do like 6 blocks at a time each month. That's really, really
Piece of cake.
doable.
That
Yeah,
is
piece of cake.
doable.
Okay, I love that idea. Now, let me see some of your fabric choices.
All right.
So what are you thinking?
Okay, so I was thinking either Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
because it has a lot of smaller
Prints.
prints on it. It does have some bigger ones, which I have questions about.
Yeah.
But I think it'd make a really cute Christmas quilt.
Will make awesome.
Yeah. Then I also really like vitamin C, and I like this one because it won't, like if you cut it up, it's okay.
Yeah,
Everything would still look really great. So I like the colors and almost like the watercolor look of it.
But there are some small pieces in this quilt, but Kobe wants us to play, of course. But
Always.
as you can see in this one, there are some bigger florals, so they do get chopped up. But as long as they are not like big blobs of one color, which I am a little nervous about these, because you could have a 1.5 inch square that would just be
that
this,
white,
and then it's not a red fabric anymore.
Yep.
So I'd probably skip these, leave those out. There's just 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
So then you have 10. And you need are you making lap sizes?
Yes.
And we need we need 13 fat 8s. You could of course repeat some of them, no big deal. But if you want more variety, we got some. I mean, you can throw in some reds, throw in some greens, some taupes.
Yeah.
But if you love some, you can also just make more.
Yeah. I
Make
think
more from the same.
the main thing to make sure I have enough variety on the quilt itself is to make sure I have an even amount of the different
Reds and
colors.
Yep,
Right.
balance, absolutely. And that's your background. I think that's gonna be super cute.
Yeah.
Now this one will be fabulous too because they're just textures and would look good in a white background. Would look really good in a deep midnight blue background
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So that would be fabulous. Okay, what are you thinking?
Well, I grabbed Rustic Gatherings, same reason that Nancy had it,
Yeah.
is because of the small prints in there.
Exactly.
And I would pull out the two creams and just have a cream as the background and then use all the other,
The rust and the grays
Yep.
and the blacks.
yep,
Love that.
for the blocks. My other thought was I grabbed a fat quarter bundle of Deco Stitch and then I was gonna pull some fat quarters out of here, the ones that I really liked. And then use a really fun and make it more modern quilt. And I found a couple of these different
Ooh, I
1
love
yards
this
for
idea.
the background. So
Yeah, when you
That's
ever
what I'm
have
thinking.
this is tone on tone. So whenever you have something like that and they're all going to be the same, you want to give interest with the background. So I would probably go with like this one. That would be
Yeah,
super
that
cool
one's fun.
because this one's super interesting, and that's gonna just sit and be stable.
Those colors are amazing.
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna
very
be
excited.
stunning.
yeah.
Both will be good. Which one am I making? No, I love this idea. So with 5 months, so if we do like they cut it, we'll break it down for them, but
Yes.
like 6 blocks at a time would be fabulous because it's just something you can do in an evening once you do the grunt work of the strip piecing, and then you can just kind of grab your blocks and do them in a few
We'll
hours.
have some tips for staying organized and staying on track. So if you take a couple weeks off and you open it up and you know where you're going to pick it up next,
Yeah.
we'll help with that.
Yeah, and it's much better with this one to just, instead of breaking it down by stages in the pattern, is that we do the grunt work and then we just do like the full blocks.
Right.
Because then you know that process and picking that up each month is gonna be
Right.
easier.
Right.
Love that. Yay! Well, we'll tell you all how it's gonna be. You're
turn
gonna
out.
explain it all.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch on Facebook group and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can't wait. Oh, love it. There can be so many Honduras.
Cool.
Hello, welcome back. I hope that video helped you with fabric choices and kind of explain what's important for it. Definitely want to go with smaller prints if you're going that route, or large areas of singular colors or whatnot. So I also realized when we made that video, I talked about vitamin C, which is a beautiful bundle. However, unfortunately, we just sold out of it. So,
Just missed.
so some
We
other
were that close.
I know. Some other great alternatives would be Whale Song is really pretty. Lush and Lively. A Chroma would be a cool
Yes.
one. With
Very
like a
cool.
bright background. Color Club packs that go well together. Maybe Bad to the Bone. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, it's
too
lots of little
close,
pieces.
but there's a lot of little parts in there. So those are some good options, and I just wanted to go over my pick again. So I'm doing Christmas Eve, and sorry for the packaging. And like in the video, I'm not going to use these bigger prints. There's 2 of them, and that's just because, you know, as Gudrun said, if you get a block cut out like right there, it stops being a red. So, right there. Okay. So I'm taking those 2 out. I'm using the rest of the bundle, and so I realized that that will leave me with just 3 grays and 3 reds, when really I would like 4 of each color, and then I'm going to end up doing a 13th color. So I'm adding in this Christmas Eve Dots Red
It's pretty.
for my 4th red, and then I'm reusing the dots from the gray, so that I have
Sure.
4, 4, 4. And then for my 13th block, I haven't decided yet what color I'll do. So that's a future issue for future Nancy. So
And this pattern calls for fat eighths.
yes.
So from each half yard, you'll get 4 fat eighths. So
Yep.
you can mix and match on half yard bundles, which
Yeah.
gives you a lot of chance to pick the ones that will work the best.
Yep. Yep. And for my background, I am using, initially I wanted to use the Christmas dots multicolored ones, but I realized we only have 1 yard left of it. So
That close.
I know. But I found a really awesome alternative that I'm very excited about. It is the White Oak Blizzard, and it might be hard to see, but there's little gray snowflakes
go.
on there. Oops. I can't get it right.
Just little
But-
asterisks or something. in
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this.
I love that too. So
They're
I'm very happy.
scattered. They're not directional. They're
It's subtle.
absolutely
It's very pretty.
subtle, but
So-
very pretty.
I think we have 9 on our website right now. If we run out, we do plan on getting more. So no worries.
Can they buy the pattern separately?
No. So the question is, can you buy the pattern separately? It is only available in the Quilts of Iceland book. So, but it's a great book to buy. It has amazing patterns, great recipes, wonderful stories. So I think it's a good investment.
Absolutely. Someone asked about the lap size. The lap size is 13 fat eighths, so
So really you need
7 fat quarters.
Yep. Yeah. So depending on if you want to reuse those. So if you have fat quarters, you would be using double. So you'd have 4 of each
Right.
color
4
or
blocks
pattern
of each color.
if you're making the lap.
Yeah.
The math changes if you're making bigger or smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that is what I'm picking. Did you have something?
I
Are you
do.
going to make it?
Yes. You know, I came to the party a little bit late because I didn't volunteer to make the treat right away. So as soon as I volunteered to make the treat, then they said, "Sure, you can
Yeah,
play."
you can help us. Yeah.
So I am doing something unconventional. This is my favorite color, so I just grabbed a Stash Builder
the Mystery Basics.
Basics Stash Builder bundle in my favorite color, which is orange. So this is 6 half yards. So 6 half yards will give me 24 fat eighths, right? Mm-hmm. So I could pull one out to be my binding. Not sure which one, but I'm going to just use all kinds of shades of orange and use a really bright white for my background, and I think it's going to be really spectacular.
Yeah.
So I might pull out this one to be the binding. Not really sure, but this is another fun way. So if you've got someone who says, "I really want a quilt with purple," okay, well we've got that. The purple bundle. I really want a quilt that's all pink. We've got that. So this is a fun block to do just in a color way, and that's super fun as well.
Yeah.
And our mysteries are fun because you're going to get a little bit different tone, a little bit different value, a little bit different texture. So they're 6 half yards.
Yeah, and I was just thinking as I was looking at those, like if you buy the book, you know, you can make the Northern Lights quilt or the lupine, which have very specific colors used in them. And I thought with the leftovers, you could
Make
use
some
that.
of these blocks.
Yeah, it would look so
Absolutely.
pretty. It'd
Yeah.
be like an abstract Northern Lights.
And there
kind of
is a Dora table runner. I wasn't going to
Yes.
mention it, but I really want to make that too. So just
yeah,
saying,
lots of
just
ideas.
saying, yeah.
So, yeah. Yes, you
Yes.
would have to buy the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's a great investment.
So, you know, to participate, you could pick another pattern and just play along.
Yep.
You know, we won't ask you, "Are you making Heldora?" Make anything, and the tip still works.
Yep.
Month 1, you're going to accomplish X, and month 2, Y. So we don't want we love the book. We encourage you to play along with the
Yes.
book, but I also don't want to be exclusive and say,
Yeah.
"No, you can't
Yeah.
play." So.
And actually, my daughter Clara, I was trying to convince her to do the Heldora, but she's not up for it. Too hard for her yet. But she's like, well, what? She wants to make the Kira. And so I'm like, well, why don't we split it up, just like we're doing with the Heldora, and do month by month.
Absolutely.
And have goals. And I think it's probably better than rushing to get it done right before the fair.
Yeah, so it's beginning today.
Today is the
Day one,
Day
right
one.
here.
Yep.
So the first, so should I talk about this?
Sure. Go.
Okay, So one of the things we wanted to do is help keep ourselves and give you tips for being organized. So I grabbed my Goodies Color Club card from from a color club, and I am created the Haldora clips. So this is my orange. These are going to be my fat eighths, and this is my background. And then I haven't put my binding in here yet. But what this tells me is I'm going to need to cut 5" by 2.5". I'm going to cut a certain number of 1.5" squares, 1.5 by 1.5, and so on. So I created this in advance, and I can keep notes along here. And this is going to help me keep focused on my cutting and label my pieces once they're cut. And I could have also, now that I see this, I might do this next time. I could have had green clips for fat eighths and red clips for background. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to use these clues for yourself, so when you open up that little tote with all of these pieces, you're reminded, oh yeah, that's what that is.
That's what's going on.
Not very pretty, but it's very practical, very practical. And so just a reminder that these stickers are so helpful, and that on the sticker sheet there are blanks. So we didn't have one that was 6.5. We didn't have one that was 9.5. So I wrote that up.
Yeah, it works.
Got it. So yeah,
That's a really great way to stay organized.
yes. So cool. Grab your stickers.
Yeah, because then you can just grab all those and
Clip
sew
'em.
away without having to think too much. So, ideally. So one thing I did want to mention is when you are sewing this, we will talk about the first step. But when you are sewing this, the quarter inch seam allowance is really important. Since these squares are so small, you want to make sure you are right on. So I use always the Perfect Seam Guide. We have it on our website, but otherwise, if you just want to sew a seam and measure it and move it till it's right, go for it. Whatever works for you.
Absolutely. In class, we always give 2 1.5" strips cut with Stripology ruler, so we know they're 1.5. And then if you use your scant 1/4 inch to sew those together and press it, it should be 2.5.
Yeah.
Should be 2.5.
Yes, hopefully. So our first step for this next month
Drum roll.
is simply just step 1
Oh.
in the instructions. So that'll be picking your fabric, cutting it, and then sewing the strip sets. We wanted you to do all of them just to have it all done. So every fabric, make into a strip set. There's an important cutting instruction for the fat eighths when you make that strip set to cut a little piece out, so don't miss that.
Right. Yeah, the
Easily
1.5 by 1.5. You're going to
Yes.
wonder, what's this for?
It'll come up
It's
later.
important. It's important.
I have it cut. So these are my little
Oh, look at how
pieces
cute
that I
they
cut.
are.
And then these are Kara's. I'll go to the overhead, please. Kara's strip sets that she's working on. And then I have mine that I've pressed. And so once that little piece is cut out, your strip set won't be even on the end. Just a warning, a heads up, and that's totally normal.
You should expect that.
That's how it should look. So that's how far I got. That's how far you should get with all of your fabrics, and it'll be good.
Easy peasy.
Piece of
So
cake.
what we're saying is, by the next Perfect Pair show, have
Yes.
everything cut and your strip sets done.
Yes, and yes, your little,
We can do that.
Pieces.
And your little 1 inch,
Yes.
1.5 by 1.5.
you got it. Piece
That's
of
what
cake.
your shirt said.
What our shirts say? Yeah, it's
More
the-
is always better.
yeah.
We're rocking. We're rocking GE today.
They're for sale on the website. if
Yes,
you're
they are.
interested.
We're dressed for company because
Yes.
we've got a class going on today.
Yeah, there's a Katrina class. It's
Yes.
really awesome.
Oh my gosh, so fun, so fun.
All right, do we have any other questions?
Let's see.
I just want to put that this will all be on the blog. Yep, they will be on the blog. Not exact instructions. We can't list the pattern itself.
Right.
But what is expected before next month will be on the blog.
So yes, we are doing a sew along.
Yay.
We are doing a sew along.
I'm excited.
Yes, I am too. Orange. Orange is my new color. I mean, it's my favorite color. It's not new.
Any other questions, HP? All right.
Like fun.
Good, good. All right. Well, then we will move into our announcements.
So what's new? Gosh, well, I didn't know this.
That's news, isn't it?
Yay!
Since I cannot talk today, and I apologize. Since Kara is using a fat quarter bundle, we thought that would be a great idea to promote a sale on them. So right now they are all 15% off.
Good deal.
There's 6 different ones, including the mystery fat quarter bundle. And
I think there's a bumbleberries, which would be great for this.
yep,
Deco
Deco
stitch.
Stitch,
So-
Floral Elements, Color Wash. Color Wash is beautiful. But yeah, so take a look at those, and the sale goes on till the end of the month, July 31st.
So other things coming up. First of all, lots. So we've got the Class Pack Volume 2. That is Lucy and
Velocity.
So so check out the Class Pack. You'll get the 2 patterns and the live Zoom sessions, as well as the video classes. So there's 3 video classes for each quilt, and then the live Zoom is session 4 and session 7, right? 8.
Yeah.
And I want to just point out that Lucy looks a little complex, but she's not. It's you can imagine that there's a GE way to cut this that is not as hard as it looks, and so don't be afraid to try out Lucy. And Velocity is just cool.
Yeah,
So
it's really cool.
how fun that will be.
Can I touch on that?
Yes.
I just want to add that if you can't do it right away, buy it and do it at your own pace.
Right.
Maybe pop in for the Zoom sessions just to listen to other people's questions and
Right.
get more clarity, but do it at your own pace.
Yeah,
If you can't
these
do
will-
it till a year from now,
They'll
that's
be
fine.
in your account for they'll be in on your computer. You can download them. You can have them forever.
Yeah.
Don't forget that GE FamFest. Oh my gosh. Oh my
I'm so
gosh. So
excited.
much going on. September 14th through 16th. There's going to be a boat ride. There's a VIP pass. There's going to be a tent sale. So if you go to gequiltdesigns.com, there's a banner for FamFest and so much fun. Oh yeah, the watch party, that'll be in the classroom.
That'll be fun.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Come on down.
Also, the Ariel and Nikki patterns are coming out as print patterns. They were the 2 of the 3 patterns for the retreat, and I've made them both, and they're super fun to make. So we are putting together a perfect pairing with the Ariel and Nikki patterns and a bundle and background and bundle and background and binding. Blah, blah, blah. Too many B words.
Yes.
So that's super fun. So $99 for a bundle and 3 yards of background and a yard of binding.
And a pattern.
And the 2 patterns. So check out the perfect pairings.
Yeah, it's fun.
5 new patterns being released. So Nikki, Ariel, Little Mia, Little Saga, Phoenix.
Hey,
Jinx.
you got together. Jinx.
I know.
I think Supersize Amelie.
Supersize Amelie, and we haven't raised the prices on our patterns. Our patterns are still $10 for the full size pattern, $6.50 for the littles. And oh my gosh, I love the littles.
They're
Super
so fun.
And finally, I just want to remind everybody the classroom is open. We're open for Open Sew, where you can come and work on anything. And I'm thinking of it as kind of like a GE workshop.
Yes.
Bring anything that you're working on, Fast and Furious Club, Class Pack, anything. And we'll help you with that.
Yeah.
We're just doing sewing for a cause for the Community Action Program in Scott, Dakota, and Carver counties. That's super fun as well. And then, of course, classes like today, everybody's working on Katrina.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see what they
I know.
make today.
I'm excited too.
Good. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Just wanted to remind you to check out the blog, which we'll have up later today for the recipe and information about this sew along and anything else. And then also, Gudrun has a blog with her fabric pulls. Colleen has a blog with her 1 Yard Wednesday. So the blog space is a great way to check out
Busy.
information.
Yesterday on 1 Yard Wednesday, we did a full-size pillowcase tutorial. So if you wanted to,
Yeah. Is
if
the
you don't-
pattern there? You're working on it.
Pretty soon.
You're working
pretty
on
soon.
putting the pattern up. It's okay. Didn't mean to call you out.
That's all right.
It'll be there
Yay!
soon.
It'll be there soon. But the video, really, the show yesterday really does stand alone. I give you all this cutting instructions and everything. So anyway.
Awesome. So that's
This
about
is so
it.
fun. I would love to come back. This is super
Hey, if you
fun.
keep baking, come on in anytime.
Keep on baking.
Oh my gosh.
Bring on the treats.
Yay.
So join us next month, August 17th at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hopefully Carol will be back, but if she's not, Colleen will be here.
I'll
and
be
it's
here.
Awesome. So no problems with that. And then Gudrun will be on tomorrow with her Happy Friday show at noon Central Standard Time with Mr. HP.
Yay. Mr. HP, we got Mr. GP.
Yeah.
We got it all going
It's a
on
party.
here. Yeah. Look at you. Look at you.
There he is.
Hey, thank you, everybody. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us,
Yes.
shopping with us, stitching with us.
Listening to
It's
us.
all a lot of love. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Have a great day.
See you next time.